forced its way into his consciousness. At some point in the evening, General Berg would notice Franz's absence and send another soldier to check on him. If the general discovered Hauptmann House was missing, he would take immediate action to locate his Aryan eagle. Then the lights across the chateau suddenly began to disappear as blackout curtains were lowered. Franz listened for the drone of approaching airplanes, but heard nothing. Perhaps General Blaskowitz's security detail had wisely decided to squelch the public display of a large military gathering. Franz climbed toward his goal, a paved road that crossed the crest of the hill. The road would give him an opportunity to catch a ride in the direction of the town of Freiburg and the Black Forest. He'd already prepared his story for any motorist who stopped. He was an officer needing to meet friends in town. Nearing the top of the hill, he saw a tiny glowing light and slipped into the shadows. Peering around a tree, he saw a solitary soldier smoking a cigarette. The man was on guard duty at the precise spot where the road to town came out of the trees. Beside him was a motorcycle. Franz lowered his hand to the Luger strapped to his hip. He was a staff officer, not a combat soldier, and he'd never fired his weapon except as part of a training exercise. Also, the guard was a fellow German, not an enemy combatant. Standing at the edge of the hill, looking down at the chateau, the soldier had taken off his helmet and placed it on the seat of the motorcycle. Franz crept closer, raised his gun, and pointed it at the guard's back. From this distance, he couldn't miss, and if he fired a shot, it would only be one more pebble added to the mountain of guilt already charged to Franz's account. Suddenly, the soldier let out a loud belch, followed by a second, softer one. It was such a basic human sound that it caused Franz to freeze. And in that instant, he knew something about the guard. The man came from a long generation of Bavarian dairy farmers, and Franz could see the soldier standing in an idyllic pasture in the late afternoon sunlight as a herd of cows walked down a flower-strewn hill toward a stone barn. Franz lowered his pistol. He couldn't shoot a man he knew. Taking a deep breath, Franz ran as fast as he could and crashed into the man's back. The guard grunted, lost his footing, and rolled down the hill into the darkness. Turning away, Franz didn't check to see where the soldier landed. The man's motorcycle was a lightweight DKW RT-125. Early in his Army career, Franz had awkwardly ridden one of the bikes in the courtyard of a military barracks while stationed in Belgium. He touched the engine. It was still warm. Then, out of the darkness, the guard called for help. Following the man's cry was the sound of a gunshot. Franz jumped on the motorcycle. He kick-started the single-cylinder motor that sputtered to life with a staccato sound. Hoping it was in gear, he released the clutch. The motorcycle shot forward about 10 feet, then died. Franz could hear the guard's voice as the soldier scrambled up the hill. Restarting the engine, Franz let out the clutch, and with a herky-jerky motion, the motorcycle lurched forward to the edge of the road. Franz opened the throttle without shifting gears, and the engine screamed in protest. The bike jumped over the edge of the pavement and onto the roadway. He shifted gears and heard a loud pop. Glancing over his shoulder, he saw the guard standing at the edge of the road with his pistol pointing in Franz's direction. Franz stopped the motorcycle, turned, and gave a crude Heil Hitler salute. The salute seemed to puzzle the guard, and Franz didn't hear another shot as the motorcycle pulled away and rounded a bend into the forest. It was 10 kilometers to Freiburg. The dairy farmer turned soldier could run down the hill and report the assault and theft of the motorcycle by a crazy officer in less than 10 minutes. Franz's plan of a secret getaway was blown. He opened the throttle wider, and the motorcycle shot around a corner so fast that he almost lost control and skidded into the trees. Fighting panic, Franz slowed and tried to match his reflexes to the gray pavement illuminated by the dim headlamp. Over the next few minutes, he encountered 2 cars going in the opposite direction. There was no sign or sound of pursuit from behind. It took 15 minutes to reach the outskirts of Freiburg. Franz rode toward the medieval center of the city. Stopping on a side street near a streetlight,